Do do
Cool.
do do.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, who are you? We weren't talking just minutes before this started.
Why do you have to pull back the curtain already? It's
I'm a big fan of Oz.
Oz. Speaking of Oz, have you seen Wicked yet?
No,
No.
no.
What do you mean, no?
Have you watched Gladiator 2 10 times yet?
No. But you and I have talked before about how much you love
Oh,
musicals,
I do,
right?
I do, I do. And Ben Shapiro, Mr. Conservative Libertarian, loves the Wicked film as well as the musical. So, I'm not saying I'm a big fan, but the fact that it made him a fan, I'm pretty shocked.
Well, he does have that musical background, I
Yeah, he is.
believe.
He's a very talented violinist, I believe.
I don't know. I'm not too familiar with his whole stick.
Oh, yeah, I
I
know.
just
I
know that he likes music.
Well, he grew up in a Jewish family, so it had to be a violin.
Okay, I'll just trust your word for that then.
Sure. I've listened to him before. He mentioned it. He's very talented. He's actually really good. Not that we need to go into that area of the world.
No,
Let's go into the more of the pop culture. We don't want to cause any controversies, you know what I'm saying?
for sure. And so, anyway, Wicked. What's your
Okay.
plan for watching that? Have you even seen or heard the Broadway musical?
You know, for the longest time, I've heard about it. And when Idina Menzel was like the biggest thing because of that film before Frozen, uh, I've only heard like the major songs. So like everything that's been highlighted from Wicked, I've seen. But I do have questions, so I don't know. Um, and this is coming from someone who's a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz, which ever since I was a kid, I was like, it was one movie when I saw it the first time, it scared me, but then it intrigued
Right?
me. And then it was one of those first moments as a child in the 80s where they pulled back that curtains, like you said, and literally like just flip the switch on you when you're like, oh, look at the wizard, the big old green face, and then they pull back the curtains, just like old squirrely guy, right? And then I've also seen Oz the Great and Powerful with James Franco before he got canceled. And I also thought that was pretty good. Now, in terms of Wicked, I just want to know, like, is it actually canon? It confuses me because let me get this out and then you can help clear this up for me. It confuses me because the Green Witch in the old Wizard of Oz was so scary with her monkey puppets and flying monkey bats. Like, that gave me nightmares. How is that person a protagonist in this movie, this prequel called Wicked? Like, so Ariana Grande, the blonde one who's prettier, is the bad person? I don't get it. So that's the part
Hmm.
I need someone to like set that up for me before I can dive in because I don't want to ruin my experience of the original Wizard of Oz.
This is how my brother, who has never seen it, also had less knowledge about the movie Wicked than you did.
Okay.
He
Wait, how would
he
you rate my knowledge though? A little bit. I know a little bit.
Of Wicked or the Wizard of Oz?
Overall, like 6 out of 10, right? Like I'm an average who kind of like kept his ear open, fan of the old one.
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Maybe even a seven.
Okay.
Um, just because you know the original source material.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, my brother, who isn't a big musical guy, he the second time after I bring up Wicked, we meet again over the holidays, and he's like, you know what's interesting about Wicked is that I've heard it's just Wizard of Oz fan fiction. That's basically what it is. And I think for someone that isn't familiar with the musical, as in they haven't seen it yet, that's kind of one of the approaches you can take going into the movie, that it draws inspiration from the original, but it kind of changes the narrative a little bit
Much
into
like Gladiator
so
2.
Gladiator 2 is a sequel. It builds on the first one, right?
Okay, good.
This one changes
I'm gonna make you love that movie
things.
like I do.
Stop it. You're only going to make me hate it more. Not that I hate it, not that I hate it, but
Hate is
you're
a strong word. We're trying to create and rebuild an America with less hate.
uh yeah, I'm with that. But does that make sense when I explain it
Yeah,
in that
so
way?
it's like they just take the source material, inspire new storylines based on the. But yeah, I guess.
Except new storylines, but it's weird because you can actually see it fit inside of the original story because most of what takes place in Wicked is the stuff, the context of the original. Because you see Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the West, whose name is Elphaba in
Yeah.
Wicked. You see them how they grow up and get to know each other when they go to high school.
So Elphaba
Hmm.
is the Wicked Witch
Yeah.
in the OG Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Okay, like the main antagonist to Dorothy and her squad.
Yes.
Okay, that just is so weird.
It is weird, and I think that it's awesome. The best way to go into Wicked, I believe, is with that frame of reference.
Kind of like a Anakin the Darth Vader reveal, like or like we knew Darth Vader was bad, but to see that he was different before he became Darth Vader.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay,
100%.
okay. I could, I could mess with that. I can mess with that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'll wait till it's on sale on Vudu. I'm not paying full price yet, but if anyone in our audience would like to donate money, we'll give you our
I'm
Venmo and PayPal so that way we can watch these films and do reviews for you. Okay.
not
Uh,
giving out my Venmo. That's too personal, but
oh,
we could make a Patreon account if you
if
want.
you would like to send cash via pigeons,
Let's move on. Let's move
okay,
on.
okay, so good questions that I had. Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, so tell me what's up. How was your week and what happened this week?
What happened this week? Well, did you see that they had kind of like a the Live Aid
The Fire
charity?
Aid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they had a Fire Aid concert. I saw that on Amazon.
Oh, I did too. And one of the major highlights was that Nirvana had a reunion, and then they had guest singers, including, I believe, Dave Grohl's daughter and Joan Jett in place for Kurt Cobain. And seeing Dave
Mhm.
Grohl on the drum set again, like he was in Nirvana, was
Yeah.
wild. And being that I'm a big fan of grunge music, uh, that was just it felt weird to or felt in a weird in a good way, but also sad that
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain has been gone for I don't know like 30 years.
Yes.
Uh,
Rest in peace.
but I'm gonna tell you the one thing that really blew my mind. I mean, there were a ton of great performances. I just saw like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I'm a big fan of punk rock or pop punk, and Green Day performed. And when they were performing, they had a surprise guest from a song from one of their like Broadway musical slash concept album, American Idiot.
Yes.
And Billie Eilish showed up and sang the second verse and finished the song for Green Day. I think I can't remember what's the name of it. It's like Last Person on Earth. Let me see. I'll just double check just to make uh
Make it
sure.
factual.
Yeah, I just don't want to be wrong about this because it goes like I think it's from let's see Green Day albums. It's the one that goes I sent a postcard sent or something like that. That one. I don't know.
Mm.
Let me see. It's from 21st Century Breakdown. Okay, that concept album, Last Night on Earth. That's the name of the
Oh
song
yeah.
that Billie Eilish showed up on. And she had this cute little tie and a big black shirt. It was so cool. And it blew my mind because I'm a big fan of Billie Eilish, not complete fan of her entire catalog. It's too quiet to me. But she has some bangers. But it was really cool to see Billie Eilish and Billy Joe Armstrong doing a duet on a Green Day song. That was just one of the most beautiful Green Day songs taken from the American Idiot musical. So it was cool.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. And gosh, I was watching when I turned it on, Sheila E. on the drums with Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Did you see
Oh, I
that
saw
bit?
that. I saw that. I saw that.
Oh my gosh.
That was cool.
Love Love a good drummer, man.
Dude,
I,
drummers, yeah, it's awesome. They're very important to a band in keeping beat. And I know you're a musician. You said you played the
I played the
clarinet,
drums.
the
I
and
played the drums.
but then you also played what? The clarinet?
I played the drums and the
Yes.
clarinet. Yeah,
Yeah, so you're good at keeping that tempo, that metronome. So it's very important in music, right?
definitely, definitely. I just with the drums, gosh, I couldn't take it to the next level though. Like I'm always impressed by people that can move their hands and fingers that fast,
Well, yeah, and then when you step up another level, you're moving both your feet too.
right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But that's yeah, so I thought that was nice of them to have that, those that just shows the importance of arts in times of tragedy. Like I know that they don't give something like more direct and like a medical service worker or a firefighter, but the fact that they have all that attention on their artistry, they can
Mhm.
use that to channel the attention to the tragedy of the LA fires, and then also garner support for all the first responders that helped. And I think it's such a cool thing. I'm a big fan of those concerts. I know I'm not a big fan of like the actual tragedy, but it does make my heart full when I see artists of all genres come together, not even caring that they're from different music genres of the pop industry or rock industry, yet they can find time to come together just for like a 12-minute set and just raise money for a good cause.
Absolutely. And I just thought that was awesome to see because I didn't hear about it. I was just looking through Amazon and I'm like, oh, what? This is live. This is live?
Yeah, yeah.
Live.
See, I caught it on YouTube and it kept giving me a timer 2 days ago. And it's like, the concert's going to begin in 2 days. And I was like, set a reminder, set a reminder. And that's kind of cool. So that means they like all the most major streaming services must have agreed to broadcast that with no, like, I'm sure they did it for free and just for the cause. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember my parents were talking about how we are the world.
Oh,
How
Jew. Yeah.
when that came out, that happened like all at once. Every channel was playing it at the same time
Yeah, we are the
or
world.
something like
Let
that.
me get a date for that one. We are the world. That was 1985.
Hmm.
I was so December of 1985. It was inspired because in December 1984, Band Aid from Great Britain released "Do They Know It's Christmas," which is like another song for African famine relief, and so then that inspired the Americans to create their own group, and it was like written
Hmm.
by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson, and then produced by Quincy Jones and Michael Omartian for the album "We Are the World," and that came out in 1985. So I was 5 years old. How old were you, Mister Zennial or whatever you are. Gen Z.
Gen Z. I was not alive, but I did watch the documentary about it, The
What
Greatest Night in Pop.
is it possible that you were alive in some form? Would you believe that you were alive in some form?
No, and let's not get into that. That's too existential for me. I
You were
could,
you were existing somewhere, but
sure, whatever you believe. Anyway, that's one of my takeaways from the last week. What about for you?
well, let's see. I mean, it was interesting to see a lot of I know I heard all this buzz about like the Oscar nominations, but I made sure to stay away from it because I knew that you would love to tell me about them because you're very knowledgeable about that.
Hmm.
But one film that really I mean, honestly, like when I saw this trailer, and I know you don't watch trailers, but for me, I'm okay with it. But when I saw the trailer for this film, it really blew my mind, and I would never have considered watching this trailer if it weren't for what happened at the Golden Globes this year when I believe Demi Moore won for Best
Yes.
Actress for this film called The Substance. And I was like, what is The Substance? Like, it's cool to see Demi Moore back in the like forefront of acting because I always believed she was a great actress. But it's been a minute, right? Like since she's been in a
Yeah.
film. but I watched the trailer. The concept really does blow my mind. Like, and
Hmm.
it's a great what do you it's a great like social commentary on the struggles of women, especially to look beautiful even at the oldest age, right? Like they can't like
Right,
with men, right? Like we can grow older, and it's like for us, it's like, oh, we just like it. You men look more distinguished, they look more mature, and but like
right.
when women grow older, it's they seem to be losing something of themselves, and it's more of a drastic drop off for them because there's so many things that society put on them, as well as all the cosmetics that are meant to slow down aging or cover up aging. And I totally get it, and I feel bad for women who feel that pressure to always look good. So and I guess in this film, um, and I don't know much about it, and I don't know like
Hmm.
the I don't know the plot or anything, but I just know that there was a like Demi Moore plays a lady who's kind of at the tail end of her career and was trying to figure out a way to stay in the game, and so somehow she gets hooked up with someone who provides this drug or something that allows her to uh be younger for a certain period of time, but then there's a
Hmm.
trade-off on the other end, and I was like, that's a cool concept, but here's the crazy part. Like I
Okay.
said, I've never heard of this movie, but I have a lot of friends who are big into horror films. And that's where it kind of boggles my mind that this could be considered a best picture nominee because I don't know if it was or she was best female actor nominee and people who are big fans of some of horror's greatest films were saying that this movie made them sick. And so, like,
Wow.
this friend of mine, he's a big fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Hmm.
the old version. A lot of no CG
Oh,
back then.
I've seen that movie.
Oh,
Yeah. That it,
it's scary.
oh my gosh. Just the opening scene,
Uh-huh.
like where they pick up the guy in the van and
Oh
he's
no,
just
no,
like,
still gives me
oh,
nightmares.
it's
And the
like
fact that
stabbing himself and like, look, I cut myself.
I know,
And they're like,
and the fact that when you get done watching that and you freak yourself out, and then you see that it was based on a real event,
yes.
and that really, I hate it when they do that. But anyways, the fact that this movie with Demi Moore called The Substance is getting praise from horror fans, horror film fans who love the scariest and the like the goriest films,
Mhm.
and this movie was never really sold as one of those, but it's falling under that category, and it's in a mainstream release in theaters, and it's
Yeah.
getting so many accolades. So, like, what do you know about it?
Yeah. I just know that when I look at kind of Hollywood and what gets acclaim, it's always something that does something different or a film that speaks to a cause or something that is just kind of unspoken, but everyone's aware of. And The Substance is that kind of movie where you have this concept through the lens of horror where an aged woman gets an opportunity to look young again, except this time to a hyperbolic level where the drug literally physically changes her appearance to where she has a younger self.
Yeah,
That's
and
all. That's all I know. But it's like that's wild, and
it's a
it
common
usually,
issue, right? In the
yeah,
world of like we are big into pop culture, and since I was young, it's all about how you look, how you maintain that look. One of those weird guys that are able to maintain that look is like Tom Cruise. That dude's 60 and he still has that famous Tom Cruise run, and he looks great for his age. I don't know how he does it. There must be some trickery or some movie magic that helps him look so young. Because Top Gun Maverick, you would have never known he was in his 60s.
yeah,
There were glimpses where I was like, oh, I could see that in that angle he looked 60. But come on, if we were 60 and we looked like that, we would be stoked.
right. And I think art imitates life, right? And Demi
Yeah,
Moore, gosh, she's kind of up there in the 50s, maybe 60s.
yeah,
And you're right. Like me thinking about the last movie of hers that I saw might have been A Few Good Men from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of her heyday. And I've seen clips of Ghost with Patrick Swayze as well. Like that's kind of what I think of when I think of Demi Moore. Or oh, I think wasn't she a character in the Charlie's Angels with like Drew Barrymore
I
and
believe
Cameron
so.
Diaz? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like still like early 2000s. That's the last movie I saw with her. And even in that movie, she played a character who was like a veteran
Yes.
angel,
So she was already on the older end.
right? And this is 20 years later.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's wild. But
Anyways,
yeah, I know. And it's tough. It's bad. But, a film like this is something that could, like they can show the brutal reality of being, I guess, I don't know if it's about females only, but I'm assuming it is because they have the most to lose in the Hollywood realm. But if you think about it, like I've gone to the dark web of YouTube or whatever, the dark tube, and I remember sometimes you get into those like medical reality shows where they talk about like plastic surgery, and those are pretty gruesome. If you watch like
yeah,
what people do to their faces to look younger, the fact that they will slice it and then would stretch it back to make sure that you stretch out the wrinkles, so they're gone. I mean, the fact that people are okay with that, like they look at that and they're just like, hey, yeah, I'll go through the pain and pay 30 grand just to change my nose because I don't like it, things like that.
mhm,
And I just feel like that's crazy. And maybe, yeah, this movie is going to teach people something. And that's kind of the goal. I feel like with a lot of movies is that there needs to be a lesson to be learned
yeah,
uh, in some form. Otherwise, like, that's the thing. You either teach a good moral or you're showing a bad moral to reinforce a good one,
right.
right?
And I think for me, I don't know how I could handle it because I watched Black Swan and that was more psychological body horror. And that was hard to stomach those scenes. Have you ever seen Black Swan?
Yes, I did with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, like oh my gosh. Like
No, no,
remember
it's
when her body would like change or like just the cutting
yeah,
and
yeah.
the bleeding? Oh,
It reminded me of like when what's that American Werewolf in London, where where it was all practical effects, and you're like, how did that guy turn into a werewolf? And it freaked me out as a kid. Same with when Michael
mhm.
Jackson turned into werewolf in Thriller.
Oh
Like
my
I thought it
gosh.
was
Yeah.
real. I was like, and I was a big fan of Michael Jackson. I was scarred for life that he was a monster. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, but yeah, yeah, it's wild. And this funny fact is, Black Swan was one of the very first, I believe. Oh yeah, very first iPod video movies I purchased when I had the old iPod
No way.
with the little scrolly wheel and then the little screen that
Oh,
was only like an inch big. Yeah, and it's still in my, like, now that we have like Apple TV and all that, like I see it all the time there. But back in the day, that was like probably the third digital film I purchased on my iPod. My iPod video. That was it. Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
No, it's wild. You're setting me.
Well,
You're aging me, bruh.
sorry.
Stop
I
aging me.
remember those too. I was young when those came out. Those
Yeah,
were
but
cool for a
you were
time.
using it as like a teether or something.
I
Like,
liked listening to music. I would play, honestly, this ties back to when I was playing the drums. My mom gave me her iPod and I had a couple songs and there was the Jump by Van Halen. That
ooh,
was
great
like
song.
a song I would listen to over and over again because it was one of the few songs on her iPod that I actually enjoyed.
Eddie Van
Well,
Halen,
anyway,
rest in peace. So, anyways,
yes.
so on to
Pivoting
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's up?
to the Oscars, since
Oh
you
yeah,
brought them up, do you want me to just read some of the nominees for you?
yeah, yeah. And what are your? Oh, yeah, yeah. Just let's go through some of the major
Yeah.
ones that like you're excited about. But don't forget, like without me even looking at the nominations for costume design,
hmm
I know Gladiator 2 is on there. Please tell me Gladiator 2 is on there.
Okay, so for each movie that I say, I want you to tell me if you've heard of it or not. If you've heard of it, give it a rating. If you've seen it, give it a rating. If you haven't seen it, I want you to like give me a prediction of what it's about. Just like a a two-sentence plot summary just based on the name alone, if you've never heard of it.
Okay, that's cool. Well, like just like off the top,
Yeah,
when
off the
like
top of your
and just
head.
and let's see how close I am.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be
Okay.
hilarious. That'll be hilarious. Okay, so wait, hold on. Let me take a break right now. I gotta use the bathroom, and then we will start this next segment. Okay, like that.
All right. So picture number one,
Okay.
Honora.
Okay. Wait, who's in it?
Mikey Madison.
Ooh. Okay, keep going.
That's all either of us are going to know.
Okay, have you seen this film?
I have seen this film.
Really? Okay.
Yes. All right.
Honora.
What do you,
Honora. Okay, can you give me a setting? Like, where is it based?
America in New York.
New York. Okay, city life, city life. Okay, Honora
Excuse me.
is Honora a name?
Yes.
So it's about a girl or someone who
Yes.
identifies as a girl. So it's like
Yes.
the life and times of a girl who named Honora, who probably is like ethnic Puerto Rican, maybe Brooklyn, and just like trying to sell, just living the street life to make ends meet, like selling drugs and stuff.
Okay. That
Why are you so giggly? Like what is?
I would rate that guess like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, let's go. I'll take six. Six is good. So tell me about
So
it.
instead of selling drugs, she's
Yeah.
selling her body.
Okay. Oh,
Number
wait.
one.
Hold up. Hold up.
Mhm.
Say what?
She's a prostitute
Oh, wait, wait. Who's playing
or an
this?
escort. Mikey
Who's
Madison
that's her
is
name?
Honora.
Hold on. Let
Yeah.
me take a look at this.
Do you
Honora
not know
girl.
who Mikey Madison is?
Mikey Madison. Oh. Okay. Okay. So wait, she kind of looks Puerto Rican. Am I right? Let me look.
That's
Let
the
me.
funny thing. It's not Puerto Rican. It's
Okay.
she can in the movie she can speak Russian.
Oh shoot. Okay. Here. Let me hold on. It says here her full name is Michaela Madison Rosberg, who was born in L.A., grew up in San Fernando. Both parents psychologists, and she is of Jewish heritage. So, oh, I remember her. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is she the one who slammed her feet on the glass? Oh no,
Uh
she was one of the crazy people who tried to kill Brad
yeah,
Pitt. Okay.
one of the Manson kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey Madison. Wait, hold on. I want to see. Wait, I'm gonna look at the because this, just hold up. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of my favorite films of all time, easily top 10. So let me see.
Wow. Okay.
Let me see. Mikey Madison. Oh, she played Sadie. Sadie Atkins. I think she's the one who cut the baby out of the belly. I don't know, but all right. Let's okay, back to it. All right, tell me about it. Tell me
Yeah,
about this,
so
Honora.
basically she's an escort. She knows Russian, and one day this Russian oligarch comes in and her boss is like, "Hey, I want you to be with this guy. He's really wealthy. He'll pay a lot of money. And he wants someone that can speak Russian." And
Oh,
so basically they kind of get together. She spends time with him, to put it mildly. Eventually, it kind of becomes kind of like Pretty Woman, where it's like, oh, I want to marry you. And then they get married in LA. Sorry, not
okay.
LA. They get married in Vegas. And that is part one of the movie. And then I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
say
No, no.
anymore.
Let's pause there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, let me drop some facts about what I'm seeing here. So, first of all,
Mhm.
on a budget of $6 million,
Yeah.
it
Low
so
budget.
far has made 35 million. That's pretty good
Yes.
for like a very, very art house type film. It's distributed by Neon Films.
Hmm.
They so Alamo Draft House Cinema Chain. So that's kind of like it's like a not a non like not popular film studio, but I guess I mean this is rocking based on Rotten Tomatoes. It's rocking a 93% positive off 318 critics reviews with an average rating of 8.5 out of 10, which is amazing. They said that she just has a brassy performance. What does that mean? What does brassy mean? You've
She
seen it.
plays a strong character.
Okay, so regardless of her being a prostitute, she is someone who is like very confident in herself.
Yeah, and she's got like an accent, like a New York accent. I forget whether
Okay.
it's Queens or Brooklyn accent, but she's got that New York toughness.
Okay, so do you agree with Justin Chang of the New Yorker? Uh, he wrote that Honora plays like a wild dream, first joyous, then catastrophic, and always fiercely unpredictable.
100%.
Okay, so you know what? That other than the joyous part, that reminds me of that Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems, where it was just breakneck pace and always unpredictable. Like I always felt
Yes,
like
except
I was
this movie
exhausted.
this movie does not stress you out in that way. It
Okay.
is unpredictable in a very, if you like a little bit of dark humor, I was laughing through it. Like,
Really?
yes.
Hey, but the way you describe it sounds like it's like a drama mixed with like suspense and thriller vibes. Like,
It's not suspense and thriller because of the way the characters are portrayed as just kind of bumbling idiots,
hmm.
aside from Honora,
Okay,
who is a
so
lot more put together.
a wealthy Russian oligarch, that just means like he's just someone who came from wealth from Russia and not part
Yeah.
of like the Russian mob or anything, right?
Um, Oligarchs are people that have political influence and are really
Okay,
wealthy.
got
They're
it.
like they're like mini royals
Yeah.
almost.
Oh, because they can
But
like drive certain aspects of an economy or government decisions based on their wealth.
yeah, because
Okay.
there's it's funny. There's a baptism scene that reminded me of The Godfather,
Uh-huh.
but the tone is totally different than The Godfather
Okay.
because this is more comedic, I would say. But
Okay.
that's all I want to tell you. Anyway, so that's Honora. It
Okay.
also, just for context, it won the Cannes Film Festival Palme d'Or, which is the top prize.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's epic. Okay. Okay. I love that you're like totally into it. And also like I just it's very interesting to me. I let's move on to the next one. I'm kind of excited now. I just
Yeah.
want to take my guess. I can't believe
Yes.
I got a 6 out of 10 on that one. I'm stoked
For
for
your
some for
blog
just being
guess, yeah.
well, just for being like, oh, okay, just based on the name and the setting, I think I could figure it out. So 6 out of 10. I want to go. I think
Yeah.
anything over a 6 or 7 is a success. Let's say that's
Yes.
agreeable.
I agree.
And
Okay.
if it's something I do know, I mean, I better get a 10 out of 10 on that one, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Number two, The Brutalist.
Who stars in it?
Adrian Brody.
Is he cut and buff in it?
No,
Okay,
he's
so it's not a boxing movie. Okay.
no.
Um, what genre? Like comedy, drama? I'm assuming drama.
Drama,
Uh-huh.
uh, kind of historical
Ooh, okay, okay, okay. I
and
remember.
epic.
Okay, Adrian Brody,
Hmm.
historical.
And Felicity Jones is in it too.
Oh, I love her. She's great. Okay, Adrian Brody, historical Adrian Brody, the pianist.
That is a movie he was in.
Yeah, yeah, and didn't he win for that one too?
Yes, best actor,
Okay,
the
best
youngest.
actor. He was Jewish in that one, right?
Correct.
Okay, so is Felicity Jones Jewish?
In real life, I don't know.
Hmm. Okay, so I feel like he could be okay. What's the setting?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, geez, I will. I was hoping like a Gangs of New York place or like a New Jersey or oh shoot, Pennsylvania. What was big in Pennsylvania? What's the year?
Post World War II.
Post World, like the rebuilding of America.
I wouldn't call it rebuilding.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Here's my guess. Post World War II, Jewish, so a successful Jewish immigrant or something who engages in the business of selling weapons or I'm gonna say or is responsible for fighting for the rights of Jews and finding the like the like get it like punishing the criminals of of
Hmm.
the Nazi criminals through the whatever the I don't know, like
Okay.
the trial. And but because I'm thinking brutalist, right? So I'm thinking like revenge fantasy, not fantasy,
Okay.
but
So
okay.
clearly you don't know what brutalism is, do you?
No, actually, I
It's
always
a
I go
it's
ahead,
a
go ahead.
style of architecture.
Oh, I've heard that. That's from the Renaissance. Well, okay, describe what style of architecture? What?
Brutalism is the style of
Okay,
architecture.
so what is that? Like just
It's lots of concrete, steel is involved. It's just very ugly looking.
okay, so like basically what we see now with the lack of like character on our buildings, like the Gothic structures in Europe, or like if you go to like
But less so. Look up a picture of brutalist architecture. I
all right,
want
dang it, what the heck? You're just
I'd give that maybe five and a half because I gave you most of that stuff.
wait, what do you
Like,
mean? I mean, I knew he was
well,
Jewish.
okay, yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the plot. So,
Oh, okay. So saying he's a visionary architect to rebuild his life, his career, and his marriage. Oh,
yes.
yeah. So it's like it looks like let me see. Let me share what's screen one. So it looks like can you see mine? It's like it looks like
No, I can't for some
oh,
reason. Oh,
oh.
wait, there we go. I see
Box
it.
it looks like boxes on top of boxes and then really sharp angles. Looks
Hmm.
like the cities of Dune. Uh yeah, that's weird. Okay, so what's the big deal then?
Um, so
So yeah,
basically, it's just at the end of World War II.
okay,
He's a fresh immigrant. He moves in with his cousin. In his life before the war, he was a big time brutalist architecture.
okay,
And basically, the plot is if you watch the trailer, Guy Pearce is like this wealthy guy who wants him to complete this big time project
yeah.
as an architect. But you kind of know that, at least for me, you kind of feel like Guy Pearce's character is a bit exploitive and
Like just taking advantage of this guy's vision.
taking advantage of an immigrant
Yeah.
who doesn't
Who
speak English very well,
and will
right?
do essentially anything because they're away from whatever they were
Right,
escaping.
he's
Yeah.
starting over.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so
yeah,
let me see. But hey, come on. I got to get something about like I did mention like Holocaust.
you mentioned him being Jewish. You did mention Nazis,
Nazis,
um,
right? So and I said it
but
would
it
be
was
like I
more
know.
fighting.
Okay, I'll take the 5. I'll take the 5.
Five and a half. Five and a
Five and a
half.
half. I'll take the 5.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's take a look
Next
at some of
one.
the stats. Hold on. Let me see. On a
Okay.
$9.6 million budget, it
Yeah.
made 13.2 million.
Hmm.
Not too bad. I like it when films make profit. Like it because it makes me feel great about an artist's vision or director's vision that they were able to pursue what they wanted and it made money back. I always feel sad
Right.
when it doesn't because that
Right.
means
Because
that director or artist will not be able to make another one.
Shawshank Redemption bombed at the box office.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how. Well, it's first of all, it's a long movie and no one really knew what it was about.
Yeah.
But once it gets, it hooks you. Dude, that's an automatic, man. Okay, so according to Rotten Tomatoes,
Hmm.
out of 263 critics, reviews are positive at 93%, and this one's a little bit higher than Anora at 8.7 out of 10 average
Yeah.
rating.
Now, this movie won Best Drama at the Golden Globes, for
Holy cow.
context.
And right now, it has earned 10 nominations at the Academy Awards.
Hmm.
Have you
It
seen this
is,
film?
I have seen it. It is 3.5 hours long.
Did you like it?
Um, I thought it was good.
Oh
Thought it
wait,
was
hold on.
good.
Give me your rating for Anora, like out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Okay, respectable. And remember to our audience, anything over 5 means it's like just above average. So we're gonna aim as 5 as our average, and 8 out of 10 is a very,
Yeah.
very good film. A 10 is a masterpiece.
Yeah. To me, 6 is average, personally.
Okay, so well, we can do 5, 6, 6. Yeah, we'll do 6.
6 is
Uh,
an average. 8 is a good movie, and then anything 8 or above is a
10
must see.
and 10 is we both agree is Gladiator 2.
right? And so this is an incomplete rating for XYZ because only Jordo here has seen the movie. We got to get BDC on board.
I don't know, with 3 hours and it's about architecture.
It has an intermission,
Oh my gosh.
right? But it makes you interested, and it's not even entire, it's not necessarily about the architecture. It's just about a man pursuing something big and ambitious,
Okay,
right?
so it's kind of unique too. I'm looking at the synopsis and it is separated by an overture. Or wait, no, wait. Or part one and a part two and then an
Hmm.
epilogue.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I mean, that sounds interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it really was. It was kind of cool to be in a movie theater, right? Like I went to a Cinemark 21 and up.
Yeah,
So I watched to the intermission and then I just order food, go to the bathroom, come back. And it was kind of cool experience. It made me feel like I was in a live theater a little bit.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I got that feeling when I saw Waitress the musical at the Galaxy Theater,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
actually had an intermission, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's my last experience of that. Okay, next one.
All right. Next one. A complete unknown.
Okay, I know this one
Okay.
because it has my boy Tim Chalamet. Um,
Timothée Chalamet.
yeah, from Dune in it, and he's playing Bob Dylan. I'm a big music guy,
Of
so
course.
I this one is definitely. I almost saw it when I was in Arizona a couple weeks ago because it was a film I really wanted to see. I'm a big fan of music biopics because I do like it. I like hearing the songs, and Bob Dylan was someone that I didn't really, I didn't really buy into when I was younger.
Hmm.
But I know his impact to music, folk music. I'm a big folk fan with like James Taylor and things like that. But yeah, it's about Bob Dylan's road to fame and just making the mainstream basically. And the best part about that movie is that Mr. Chalamet is actually singing all the songs, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And I saw him do it when they performed on Saturday Night Live. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he hosted and performed on Saturday Night Live, I was like, dude, please hand this guy the Oscar. Like
Oh my
he
gosh. He nails the accent.
no, he nails it. And
Nails it.
I love Bob. It's like
Yeah, right? But I must preface this. He is competing with Adrian Brody
he's
for
also
Best
competing with
Actor.
himself, probably with Dune as well, right?
Um, no.
Oh, okay. Wow. Nice. Okay. So give me my score, boy.
Well, since you already know it, I'm not going to give you a score.
Oh, I'm just come on, participation points for
I'll let you predict how much you'll like it.
oh no, I got this. Just give me the Jordo seal of approval. That's it. And then we'll move on.
I gave this movie, I think, a 7 out of 10 stars.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So usually if you're 7 out of 10, I'm usually an eight. So that's what I'm predicting. Because my Gladiator was a 10 out of 10 and your Gladiator was a 8.5, right?
My prediction for this movie is it's not a movie that I'll like, oh wow, the whole thing put together is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But I bet like I will start just by watching a scene and then I'll just like fast forward to another scene because the performances are just awesome to watch.
Yeah. And that's I like those. I like when I'm watching
Yeah,
performances and I get lost in it and I feel like I'm just living with them because it's so
right.
like the mundane parts of a great film gets me. And
Mhm.
that's why with that my best example is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's so many moments where you're like, "Oh, what the heck's going on right now?" We're just like riding in a car and no one's talking. It's like those things get me though. It's like it makes me feel like I'm with them. So, anyways, dude, he didn't
All
say
right.
it, but I got Jordo's seal of approval for A Complete Unknown. Mr. Bob Dylan, let's go.
And Timothy Chalamet as Mr. Bob Dylan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and before we move on, Monica Barbaro does a fantastic job
Oh
as
really?
Joan Baez, who,
Oh, okay. That's I heard about her. Did she get to sing in the film?
yeah,
Okay.
she took lessons,
I
and
this is one
yeah,
film I plan on buying immediately once I can. So I'm a big
she's yeah, she's an actress that I hope starts to like get more
blow up.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she is good, and she was good as she played Phoenix, I
Hmm.
think, in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah, I love her. What's up,
Yeah,
hang handbag or whatever, like bag man? Hangman. I love her. And then she does
yeah,
that like, like when she does her point, like looking up. I always thought that was so cool. She looks so
yeah,
BA in that. So okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting
yeah,
hyped. I'm a hype
yeah.
guy.
It's 100%. And also, but sorry, I keep pointing out the acting performances because there were three that stood out. Chalamet, Barbaro, and then also you hardly recognize Edward Norton as Pete Seeger in this.
Oh,
But
really? He
yeah,
sneaks in?
he sneaks in, could get a supporting actor nom. Honestly, it's kind of wild because
Yeah.
he's just got that kind of, folksy way of talking and way of thinking, and
Yeah. Well,
it's
those are the best.
impressive.
Those are the best, especially when they like sneak under the radar. Kind of reminds me in like Oppenheimer when what's his face, Iron Man, Robert Downey just kind of sneaks in.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy cow, he's killing it.
Well, he sneaks in and then he wins Best Supporting Actor
Yeah,
at the
no,
Oscar.
and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
All right.
okay, next
Okay.
one.
So Complete Unknown, number four, Conclave.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I know about this. Okay,
Okay.
I know that every time because I don't know anything about it, like I haven't looked it up or anything, but every time I see an advertisement on TV or in a magazine or on a website or on YouTube, it's like a bunch of cardinals from the Catholic Church looking like they're in a gang and like they look tough. And I'm like, okay, and then
Yes.
is that Ray Fiennes?
Yes. Ray
Yeah, and so
Fiennes.
yeah, so I love that guy. But then I'm just like, why do they look like badasses for the church? Like they look like they're gonna jump someone. In every photo I've seen those guys. So the plot. Wait, okay, tell me where it's set, and I'll tell you my prediction of the plot.
It's set at the Vatican.
Okay, in Vatican City. Okay, is this film in English or like Italian?
90% is in English. 95% is in English.
Okay, so being a raised Catholic, I'm just gonna make a prediction on what this one's about.
Okay.
It's about this group of, so they must be like the, I'm gonna say they are the like the police of the Vatican. And don't you're giving me hints by with the way your face is. Okay. Uh and okay, they're not police, but they're the guys, they're the fixers for the Vatican to hide the crimes that are happening so that way it doesn't ruin like the church on a PR sense. And that way they can maintain power and stuff like that. So they always look like tough guys. So tell me, where am I? Where
Base
am I?
Since you already knew background knowledge, I'm taking that out of your score.
No, 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 no. I
So
never heard of it though. I've only seen pictures.
yeah,
Uh,
but you kind of seen trailers, so
no, I did not see trailer. I promise you.
you've only seen pictures.
Only pictures,
The
like
still pictures.
yeah. When I go to my
Okay.
Fandango at home and I go to watch my own movies, it's always one of those movies that says "coming soon," and
Yeah.
I'm just like, and I know it's Ray Fiennes because I see him
Yeah.
in the front middle.
Yeah.
It's that picture. So I
Uh,
promise you, I
I'm
never. Come
I'm
on.
gonna give you a four. I'm gonna go
No.
four.
What? You're just playing me. Now you're just
So
playing me.
so here's the thing.
Okay.
They're not the PR guys. They are Ray Fiennes. I forget his title, but the Pope is dead. The Pope
What?
just died.
Are they cardinals?
Yeah, so basically what happens when the Pope dies, you know what happens, right? You
No.
have to do what?
Mm. Choose a new one.
Right. You're the
Okay.
Catholic here. Come on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
to choose a new Pope.
Hmm.
And as someone that loves history, what do you know about the process of getting a new Pope?
I heard it's a pretty um tough process, but
Hmm.
sorry. But all I don't know much about the process. I just know the end result when they light the smoke.
Right.
So, sorry. God
It's
is punishing me for not knowing everything. So,
it's political. It's
whoa,
to
no,
me, it's
that's awesome.
dripping with politics because, right, the Catholic Church is essentially a government of
No, for sure.
sorts.
And they have
Right.
their own entity, like their own state
Right.
essentially.
Right. Because, like, no matter what you believe, whether the Pope is chosen by God or what, real people have to take action to elect a pope.
For sure, for sure.
And so this kind of explores the different candidates. And there are also like, um, what do you say? I don't want to say controversies, but you know how like there are smear campaigns when people
Yeah, yeah,
run?
yeah. Like so, it's like mudslinging, just trying to get like I bet they're going like, don't choose that guy, don't choose Cardinal Bob because he looks at little boys weird, and don't pick Ray Fiennes because he kind of gives me Voldemort vibes.
Right. But yeah, in the end, so it's a bit suspenseful
Yeah.
because there are things that are revealed about people as the story goes on. And as they
Okay.
get closer and closer to nominating a new pope.
Is
Um,
uh is Ray Fiennes' character one of the candidates to win, or he's going after it?
he is the one who runs the election.
Oh, okay. See, I was hoping it was my story because I'm a big fan of that film with George Clooney called Michael Clayton. He plays the fixer for like corporations and things
Oh,
like that.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm a big fan of those like cover up films where this guy's responsible for hiding the fact that the CEO was found in a bed with a dead prostitute. You know, something like that.
Oh,
Or
okay. There is some element to that, but
oh,
it's not the process of it, right? Because they have to protect the church.
they have to protect the church. Same way we try to protect our country and our government.
Right. So there are some moments that are like that, but it's not the whole premise of it. It's more about who is the next pope.
Okay. So I am gonna say on my meter of BDC wanting to see this film
Hmm.
out of 10, I say it's around like a 7 or 8 because I like that kind of stuff. Like I
Yeah.
love like the conflict, the backstabbing. I'm a big
Hmm.
fan of that stuff. So yeah, that's definitely something I plan on watching, and I love Ray Fiennes. I
And
love him.
it's an adapted screenplay from a book too.
Whoa. Okay, so
So
it's called the Conclave.
Conclave, just
So
Conclave.
what is the conclave? Was that just a oh,
That's
it's a
the
college of cardinals. It says a gathering of
yes,
cardinals.
it's when they gathering. So when they start voting, they're like the conclave has begun.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the stats we have for this.
Sure.
So it's listed as a political thriller, directed
Hmm.
by Edward Berger and written by Peter Strohan. Those are names I've heard, and it's based on a 2016 novel by Robert Harris. Is that? Oh
Hmm.
no, I was thinking Ed Harris. Okay. Oh, Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow. That guy, John Lithgow's still around, and
It ha
Isabella Rossellini.
it's
What,
an all-star veteran cast.
dude? It's like that's like if you want a dream team of like masterclass actors, you just got it right there. Because
Right?
even like Stanley Tucci, who's in he's in Hunger
Everything.
Games and Hunger
He's in
Games, right?
everything. Yeah, Hunger
He
Games.
he outworks Hunger Games. Like the quality, like his acting is too good for the Hunger Games, but I love it because it makes perfect sense for the host, right? But okay, on a $20 million budget, this film has made 84.5 million. Not bad. And based on the reception and critical response, according to Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 93% out of 296 critic reviews with an average rating of 8.1 out of 10. So, of the three we've just talked about, this is lower. It's like 8.1, but 93% critic reviews. That's pretty good.
Hmm.
All right. So,
All right. Next one.
all right, let's see. I think we have time for one more before we need another bathroom break.
All
I've been
right.
drinking a lot of water. I've been hydrating myself.
Sure. Next one is Dune Part Two,
Come on. We already talked about this.
right?
It's good. Good
And what's
film.
our collective rating again?
Ooh.
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
And I think I gave it an 8, didn't I?
What would you give it now? Just
Oh,
say what would you
no,
give
no.
it now?
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
And the
so
thing is,
it's
yeah, yeah. And I remember I remember saying like this like my favorite visual was when they were in Austin Butler's world.
right.
and
Yes.
just the aesthetics and then the architecture. It's very brutalism.
It would be brutalist. Brutalist.
Oh shoot. Okay. Okay, here's where I met I thought it was boxing because I was thinking of pugilism.
Right. I think
Uh
when I told my mom that I wanted to see the movie called The Brutalist, she was like, I don't know. It sounds kind of tough.
it sounds kind of like
Like
sadomasochistic.
violent. It sounds
Yeah,
violent.
it sounds yeah, it sounds like guttural violence, but it's not.
Right.
Okay,
It's
that's
just it's basically when you ask like I don't know the one kid that has no creativity to do like a art project and
yeah, yeah.
they just draw squares.
And then a lot of squares.
Right. Just
But then
very
that
basic.
okay. So let's look at this. This is where this might hurt Dune 2 in the Oscars because whenever you're a box office
Mhm.
success, it's like you're kind of looked down a little bit. But
It's also a March release.
yeah,
So
as
it
I
didn't
so
have
didn't have the hype leading up to the Oscars.
at most like the last one to break the exception, I believe, was Everything Everywhere All at Once because it got like that extra push um in the pre-Oscars award seasons
Well, and
where
I
people
feel well, don't you think they're gonna re-release this heading into the Oscars anyways?
they will, but this there hasn't really been any steam because Everything Everywhere All at Once was a fresh idea, right?
No, no,
The
totally.
whole
That was amazing.
crazy multiverse, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
weird enough to where people were like, "This is different. Let's consider this." Whereas Dune, it's a part of the franchise,
Yeah,
right?
and yeah, I could see that kind of hurting it a little bit, but I would hope that it would, it garners the respect. I mean,
Right.
with it's directed by Dennis Villeneuve
Denis Villeneuve.
and then come on, Hans Zimmer doing the music and great production company and legendary, and then Warner Brothers being the distributor on $190 million budget. It made $715 million. Like not bad for a, and that's just box office. So we're
Mhm.
not including like video at home and like Blu-ray DVD sales and collectors sales. And who knows? I think it's in their best interest to like have a one weekend before Oscars to re-release. I know that's kind of a big thing with theaters now. They kind of like buying into it. Be like, oh, it's Oscar weekend.
Right.
Come catch all the films.
I think, and this is what makes it different, unfortunately, from the Everything Everywhere All at Once's and the Oppenheimers, is that it doesn't have a political center. It's totally fiction,
And
right?
I we need more of those because I think we some people just want to go and get lost in a world
Right.
and just kind of, you know, I guess kids do it on their phones with the brain rot doom scrolling, but this has
Mhm.
like this has quality to it.
It
Like you can
will
get immersed.
it will survive
Yes,
beyond it won't be a 1 year thing where everyone's talking about it and then they forget about it,
for sure.
right? Like this is like Nomadland. Who's talking about Nomadland in 2025?
No, for sure.
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah.
People will be talking about Dune Part 2
Well, and
and
then
potentially Dune Part 3 for years to come.
yeah, you know what my dream is that when like George Lucas takes back Star Wars from Disney, and then they get a good director and good act, yeah, like bring in some new actors, and they make it like an Oscar worthy movie. Like,
Hmm.
wouldn't that be cool that Star Wars would have that opportunity? I know when Star Trek came out with J.J. Abrams, there were a couple
Yeah.
things they were nominated for in the Oscars. I remember like
Yeah.
special effects and costume design, things
Hmm.
like that. But I think it would get respect, and I think in the past, I think Star Wars did get respect in terms of music and
Well,
costumes
John
and
Williams.
yeah, John
John
Williams, epic.
Williams.
No one beats that guy.
Yep.
So, anyways, I would, yeah, I think this is a. I mean, I already own this film. I love it. Um, I do. I have seen it twice. It's up there. It's in my top five like science fiction films of
Hmm.
all time. So it's easily up there. In like, I understand the quality, and it has our boy Chalamet. So, all right. So that puts us in five films. How many more films do you have? Another five?
5.
Okay. All right. Did you make your way through the trail?
Sure.
Didn't you just
Don't know
go
what
into
that
the
means.
woods?
No.
Yeah.
Into the Woods is it's a movie.
Yeah. I like that film. This is a Disney one, right?
Yeah, well, one of
Fairy
the
tale.
one of the Disney live actions that isn't adapted from something better that's animated.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, let's continue. We're halfway through. Halfway through. Moving on to
Yeah, let's do it.
number six,
Uh,
Emilia Perez.
okay. I'll tell you what I know about this. I've only heard about it in like political pundit news talk. I mean, I guess
Mhm.
on the conservative side, I listen to both. Don't worry, guys. I'm not but I listen to both, and apparently I heard on like Fox News, like they're all freaking out about it. Apparently, it's a musical about a transgender experience, and apparently I heard that it's controversy as to like how many nominations this movie got because everyone's saying it's terrible. And like the songs are like one of the songs they played on the news that I heard was like gonna get my thing cut off and then I'm gonna be a woman, like something like that. It was just like really cringe. And so I that's what I know. And it was like this Asian doctor who was like singing. I just it was a little clip I saw in the news. So it is a well, I guess the reason why there's a lot of controversy because everyone's saying it's the favorite to win everything because of the it's like because it's like a trans LGBTQ moment, like in Academy Award history. So that's what I heard. So what can you tell me?
Excuse me. What do you think the plot is? Since you don't have the whole full
I don't
story.
have the plot, but I just think it's about a person named Amelia Perez, probably used to go by Emilio, and goes through surgery, and it's a musical about the trans experience.
Anything else you want to add to the plot,
Oh, jeez.
since we're guessing?
Um, I did see that Zoe Saldana was in it, and I didn't know why. I thought that Zoe Saldana was the main character of the film, but um, please tell me I'm completely wrong. Uh, like is it like I don't know. Like
Just
is
go for it. Go for it. Tell me more.
it's just I don't know.
What do you think happens? Where is it set?
No, you tell me that.
You really?
Yeah, you
We
had to tell
got
me. You had to tell.
we gotta follow through. You did it with Conclave based on pictures. Tell me what this movie's about in one sentence.
I've only seen a scene where they were running through the surgery room hallway and they were like singing about
Okay.
of reassignment surgery. That was all I saw.
All right. So you want to keep it vague.
Okay, yeah. So like,
So
but then tell me where is it based out of?
it takes place in Mexico.
Oh,
The
well, it makes sense. Amelia Perez.
right.
Okay, okay. What is the era, decade, or whatever? Is it?
Present. It's the present.
It's in Mexico. What city?
I forget, to be honest, because
Okay.
it
Is it like
let me tell you the
Is
plot
it a
first.
Is it a cocaine lord?
It's just a cartel.
Cartel. Okay, yeah,
Cartel boss. Yeah.
that's that's basically the most interesting storyline that comes out of Mexico, other than Coco. Remember me.
So basically you have the
Okay,
head of a
Coke.
cartel, head of a cartel
Okay,
kidnaps Zoe Saldana's character and hires her to be her lawyer. Well, basically offers lots of money for her to be the lawyer for this transitioning process that they want to undergo. And so you
is
have
this
this
like to go undercover or like hide from police?
in the movie's terms, the idea is to simultaneously change their identity while also being who they always were, which is a woman.
Okay,
So has a wife and kids, sends them to Switzerland. Wife is played by Selena Gomez. Um, and basically, yeah, transitions. A couple years later, meets up with Zoe Saldana's character, and then it's just continues to be just a lot of winding roads. That is the plot.
okay. So,
Um,
and that's what I heard. Like, I heard that people said it's a little bit confusing, and like I guess like people were saying like Selena Gomez was in it.
Yeah,
So what is her character? Have you seen the film?
I have watched this movie.
Oh my gosh, how do you? Oh, you're amazing. Just so you know,
I've watched 7 out of the 10 movies
that's impressive. I mean, I
that have been
respect
nominated.
it. I respect it. I no
And
hate, man.
I'm
No
and
hate.
I'm a person with a daytime job. Like I'm not a
Okay.
critic. I don't have the
Okay.
time to watch all of these at festivals, right?
No, no, for sure, for sure.
I watch them in the theater mostly or streaming when they come out. So
Okay.
that's the
So,
gist. It's a musical. You're right about that.
well, and
Um,
I said it's about it's like the life of a transgender person in
yeah,
transition. So that's, I mean,
yeah.
I think it's an easy seven.
In terms of interest for you to want to watch it.
No, no, I meant like in terms of how close I was to the actual plot.
Oh, no,
What?
you basically went off of what you already knew and you kept it vague. That's
So a six?
I'm gonna give it a no score.
What?
NA.
Oh
You
my.
you did not try. You did not try.
Why? There's no way I could tell what that movie was about based on the little clip I saw.
That's the whole point of the experiment, for it to be fun.
Okay, I got it. But I did say that I did bring up Cartel.
No, I brought it up first.
I know, but I said,
We,
and I brought up Coco.
yeah, after I started explaining the story.
Okay, anyways, fair enough.
Take your tiny victories, your consolation prize,
All right, I'll take it. All right.
whatever.
So,
Anyway, here,
what can you tell me about this? So, like, why is it? Let's see. Everyone, the news was talking about how it is, like it was nominated for what 13 Academy Awards and leading
yes,
everyone.
13 nominations, regardless of what people think, is a lot
That's
of
crazy.
nominations.
It says leading, received a leading 13 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Actress, which is Gascon. And as Gascon is the first openly trans woman to be nominated in the character or in the
Mhm.
category, which is historical, right? Like that's a big deal.
Right. It is when you get nominated
Hmm.
13 times, historically, 2 out of the 3 movies that have been nominated 13 times plus have won Best Picture.
Hmm.
The one that didn't, can you guess? It happened in recent years
One that did it. Avatar.
after Avatar.
Way of the Water, Avatar.
No, before
Dune.
that one. Before.
Oh shoot. Now.
It's a movie that stars one of your favorite actors.
Gladiator?
No.
Training Day?
Nope.
Hmm. Wait, who's my favorite actor? You gotta tell me that now.
One of
Okay, tell me who it is.
Ryan Gosling.
Barbie?
Nope.
Ooh. Oh shoot.
People thought that it won Best Picture for a moment.
First Man?
No, La La Land. Gosh,
Oh,
you're a
okay.
terrible guesser.
No, no, but I love that movie too. So that's
Right. And that got nominated 13 times and did
and
not
did
win
not.
Best Picture.
But that's okay. Emma, what's her face? Got the
Emma
fight.
Stone,
Love her.
yes, she's
Amazing.
incredible range. It's underrated
Well,
how,
no, and the fact that the first time I ever
yeah,
experienced Emma Stone was in Superbad.
right. So anyway, I'm just telling you, it is on the fast track to win.
Okay.
However, there's a lot of controversy behind it, right?
Okay, hook me up. Fill me in.
So, number one, Spanish is to Spanish speakers. I'm not a Spanish speaker, so I miss this. People that speak Spanish are like, what is being said? They don't understand. The director is French. He also wrote it. To them, it sounds like they put it through Google Translate from French to Spanish,
Okay, so yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
right? The other thing is that it seems like a very bland stereotype focusing on the cartels being
Okay.
in Mexico, right?
Which
And
is
again, keep in mind the
yeah, yeah.
context is the director is French.
Yeah.
There are also no actors
Yeah,
of
Jacques
that are
Audiard?
Audiard.
Audiard, yeah.
Nobody that has been cast in a major role is Mexican. That is also controversial.
Well, isn't Carla Sofia Gascon? It sounds like
Spanish,
ah,
right? And Selena Gomez is Hispanic, but
but
right.
it says here that she considers herself Mexican by adoption since she has lived and worked in Mexico for most of her years. So I mean, that's almost like when a Puerto Rican says they're like black or something.
I'm going to be honest. People outside of the people that give nominations say that she did not do a good job and that her Spanish was bad.
But then, so then why 13 nomination? You think it's just they're putting on a pedestal to just
Okay,
make a social justice point?
it kind of feels that way.
And you feel that
Um,
way too. And like I can sense it in you. We're not haters, but I'm just saying.
I feel like that's why it has to win. Um,
Hmm.
like I just as someone that likes to look at trends, and unfortunately I'm kind of in the middle, or just like I can be kind of basic in my taste, and so when I watched it, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I gave it 8 out of 10 stars. I think
Wow.
in hindsight
Wow.
I would still give it a 7 out of 10
Okay.
in hindsight. Um, I even went into it with the foresight that it was controversial. I was like, I bet I'm gonna hate this movie, and then
Yeah.
I was kind of entertained. Like
Okay.
the
Okay.
music, I mean, sorry, I love music. People complain about the music. I thought the music was, hold on one second. I thought the music was innovative in
Yeah.
some ways, and I thought that part was cool. Now, as someone that doesn't speak Spanish, what would probably ruin it for anybody that is a Spanish speaker was that the words were hard to understand. Um,
Like the way the way it was translated.
right. And
It
as
didn't sound
someone,
organic, apparently, is what you're saying.
yeah, but as someone that doesn't know it, that hears melodies and likes the melody or just the rhythms and the overlaying of certain like tunes,
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool. And the dancing,
Yeah.
there was a couple dance scenes that I liked that went well with the music.
All right, let me see here. It says critics and advocacy organizations in and from the LGBTQ community have been much more critical. Speaking for NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour, critic Rihanna Cruz said that it seemed like the filmmaker was painting trans women as liars, while GLAD called it a profoundly retrograde portrayal of a trans woman and a huge step backward for trans representation.
Mhm.
Um, and then Drew Burnett, of who writes for Autostraddle, asked, "How many times do cis people have to learn about us before a portrayal like this one rings as false to them as it does to me?" So I
Mhm.
guess and so like in that when when I heard about this film on the news, and it was on Fox News, but the unique part is they were interviewing someone from the LGBTQ community, in this about this film because there was so much controversy, like you said.
Right.
And they're saying that like a lot of trans identifying people are just over this. Like I think they'd much rather it not be in the forefront. And it's almost like a what do you call it when culture like a cultural appropriation of trans
Yes.
in front of like so it's like for entertainment purposes and
Hmm.
pandering, right? So they were like we just like we're better off if we're not doing this. We just want to be one with the community, and just like we don't need to like put this out there, but like I don't know. It's a very tough subject to talk about,
Right.
but I think it's kind of necessary almost.
That is something that I put in my review is
Oh,
that
really? Okay, I got to
if
check that out.
maybe not necessary. I think what I said is that the fact that it is getting attention is important. Like it might not be good, but it's creating a lot of conversations, right?
Yeah.
I think about this and I understand the backlash because the unfortunate, I mean, it's good in the sense that it's like hasn't been done before, but it's bad in that since it's the first, this is what, if I'm a trans person, this is what everyone that doesn't know, it's setting the standard, right? It's setting the stereotype of what people will think of trans people being like.
Yeah, and I
And
think yeah.
it's not accurate.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of trans people just want to not address their gender and just live, right? Like that's their I don't know, that's them.
Well,
Okay.
it's part of it's the reason why. I think that's the biggest, the one that people debate. It's like, why do people transition? Like, are they just like not masculine men and they're just trying to like restart? There are conversations like that.
Or like
And
or women who are like maybe have like thicker facial features, not less feminine, so they lean towards like I don't know. There's a lot of factors because like the thing with like an example would be like the thing with homosexuality
Mhm,
is it could be biological, but it can
mhm.
also be a choice because humans have free will to like what they want. So that's the unique aspect of this. Uh
It's complicated.
it's very complicated. No, yeah, it's just only the
And
person that knows is that's experiencing and who's embracing that part of their personality or life, they truly know, not us.
right. And I think I don't want to dive too much into it because it's political, but I think that it's underscored how brave it is to be out in
Yeah,
that
to be
way
out there.
because of just how like I think the average American, like 73% are not supportive of trans people or trans rights.
But I did
So,
hear that as long as it's not like bothering them, they don't care what people do. It's just it seems like most people are just frustrated with it being forced on them, right?
right. And that's a whole conversation
I
about how
know.
people interpret culture, but sorry,
Yeah.
just gotta stay back on track. The
I
point
know,
is
no.
that there are
I
a lot of different groups like Mexico hates it, people that
yeah.
speak Spanish hate it. Um, what is it? Trans people hate it. And
Yeah, yeah.
right,
No,
everyone
great.
hates it. The right and the left hate it. That's the
Well,
big thing
that
too.
that is definitely it's very South Park. But here's the thing. The fact that we dedicated a lot of conversation to this film, it shows that that has the potential to win Best Picture this year.
It's very evocative, and
Yeah,
that's why it
that's what
is
it. Yeah,
my
that's it. That's it.
it's very evocative, which is why I think it was currently my prediction to win Best Picture. However, I know we got to move on, but
Well,
recently, like this
yeah.
is kind of breaking news. Like the Carla Sofia Gascon, who plays the trans woman in the movie, Amelia Perez, came out. There's some like pretty racist tweets. So that's
Oh,
only adding to the
oh
controversy,
yeah, I heard about that too. The cancellation tweets from the past, right? Like, oh,
right?
okay. All right.
So,
Well,
but
we'll save
anyway,
that. We'll save that when we get closer to Oscars. But
for
let me
sure.
quickly
Moving
go
on.
through some of the stats really quick here. So
Yeah.
on a budget of $26 million, translate from euros, box office is 12.9 million. So this is the
Well,
first one that's lost like as of right now. And then
pause.
yeah.
Keep in mind this is a Netflix movie. So streaming
Ah,
is not
yes, stream.
incorporated in those
Good
numbers.
call. Good call. Good call. But it did. But yeah. So I don't know. We should look. I should look up the stream. But anyways, in terms of just box office, so let's keep it
Right.
simple. So like people didn't go to the theaters to watch it as much. But I think with the current controversy about it, people love controversy. They want to see it for themselves, right? So I
Hmm.
think that has another chance to have a little boost. Now, according to Rotten Tomatoes, out of 247 critic reviews, they are positive with 74% positive and an average rating of 6.8 out of 10. So this is the lowest average rating of the films that we've witnessed. But in terms of pop culture impact, this is probably the top one, I think.
Uh, I would say Dune 2 is and Wicked are the
Well,
most
I
pop
guess not
culture.
pop. No, no, I meant like pop culture and social commentary and political. Like it's like merging all these conversations from people who are
Right.
not in the film. Like I saw this on a news program on like just talking politics. So
Right.
that's how I was introduced to this film, and then I just started looking up the list later, but like of popular movies. I didn't see the like this is the first time I've
Right.
seen the
There are
nominees, but
two categories of pop culture movies. There's the ones that are fun that everyone goes to see, like Oppenheimer, Barbie, right? Your
Barbenheimer, yeah, yeah.
Dune and Wicked. And then there's like the like the ones that take themselves seriously as contenders,
Sure.
like an Amelia Perez,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
or like Moonlight or Brokeback Mountain,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I love Brokeback Mountain. It's a good film.
Anyway, so moving on. This is in alphabetical order, mind you. So we are at E with Amelia Perez.
Okay.
Next one is I'm Still Here. So notice how we went from E to I there.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still here. Uh,
And
who are the actors? Do I know?
I was just about to give you a little hint, and then that's all I'll give you is that this is an international movie
Okay.
submission from Brazil.
Ooh, Brazil.
And
Okay.
I think it may or may not be based on a true story.
I'm still here. Is it about okay, main character female or male?
Female.
I'm still here, Brazil, poverty, challenging life struggles. I'm thinking it's about a woman who grew up in a tough part of Brazil and and I don't know, like as she got older and all the challenges she had to go through, she's still there. She hasn't left.
Okay.
But maybe she's matured into something different as she got older, and maybe it's making an impact on the city or something.
Okay, that last part bumps it up for
Oh,
me to be
that's
about
the. I was
like a
watching your.
four.
I was watching your face. Basically, I was reading your face.
That last part bumps it up to a 4 out of 10 guess.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take it
Um,
because I'm coming from nothing, guys. Everyone,
right.
this is tough, but I
This
like
is
this.
this is I got in my top 10 prediction for nominees.
Okay,
This is the only one that I missed.
really.
Hmm. Because it came out of literally nowhere, and all the experts did not see this coming.
Okay,
So this is a movie. Number one, it's international. Aside from Emilia Perez, this is the second one to be nominated for Best Picture this year. It is
okay,
about Eunice Paiva. Apologize if I don't say that correctly.
okay,
Begins a lonely battle to learn the truth behind the disappearance of her husband, former PTB deputy Rubens Paiva, while trying to keep her family together.
okay. So it's very political then.
It's specific to Brazil.
Okay, so is this a true story?
I believe so. I
It
believe it's based on a true story.
looks very political. Okay, okay, so Maria. Oh no, wait. It's Fernando Torres and Celton Mello and
Yes.
Fernanda Montenegro.
Fernanda
And
Torres.
yeah, was he? He kind of looks
Said,
like Steve Zahn, actually.
I thought it was like Jesse Plemons.
Okay, so on a budget of $1.48 million equivalent, the box office has this at 15.6. So it's 15x essentially. And then in terms of critical response, 96% of the 75 critic reviews are positive with an average rating of 8.3 out of 10. So
Hmm.
Fernanda Torres looks pretty old. Oh, she's like 59. And like, is this her biggest role? I mean, this might be a great like send off for her. Like, she's the Denzel Washington.
Internationally, this is, I think, the most recognition she's gotten. I
Wow.
mean, the country of Brazil as a whole campaigned hard. In fact, there's speculation that it's the Brazilians that are attacking Emilia Perez by digging up tweets and old stuff
To make
because
sure they want
they
her to
love
win.
they love this movie.
Okay.
The country loves this movie, and probably because of that political aspect, it's a
Yeah.
dark story about the history of um, that country where from what I gathered, and I watched the trailer. I haven't seen the movie,
Hmm.
and it's basically like people are disappearing in large part because of their old job or their old political affiliations.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of known about Brazil. There was this film I remember seeing when I was younger called City of God, and it was just crime
Oh, that's
here,
on my
crime
watch
there.
list.
Amazing
Yes,
film. That's an easy 9 out of 10 for me because of how brutal it was and just the way it was shot. It was so frightening but beautiful, is how I could
right.
describe it. So okay, so it looks like Fernanda Torres her film debut was at 17 in 1983. So she's been grinding since 17. And I know I'm looking at the actors they've worked with, and the first actor I noticed was in 1991, was in One Man's War with Anthony Hopkins.
Hmm.
Yeah, so whatever, let's see that film. Anthony Hopkins, it kind of looks like a made for TV film, but
Right.
yeah, so it looks pretty. It looks like it was a maybe a French film or
Oh
something.
gosh, it does. 1991, and look at the film quality.
I know, right? That before digital cameras, right? And let's film it on a VHS tape.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
oh,
can't say too much. Yeah.
that's a interesting. See, Torres became the second Brazilian to be nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress in Motion Picture Drama 2024. The first one was her mother, Fernanda Montenegro, 26 years before her, and became the first Brazilian to win the award. They also became the first mother-daughter duo to be nominated for the Best Actress category since Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli.
Oh.
That's wild. That's a push. Now that I feel like that could be a favorite too, for sure.
She won the Golden Globe for her category,
Yeah, so
Best
she
Actress.
she could steal this and everyone would still be happy. Espe-
Everything that I know about when we look at trends, I thought the last one was going to be um what's the movie Jesse Eisenberg, A Real Pain.
yeah,
I thought Kieran Culkin, his acting in that was going to carry that movie to be the 10th movie nominated, but instead it was Fernanda Torres because she's getting a lot of love for her performance as the lead in that movie.
yeah.
So if she beats out Demi Moore and that
Which is a favorite because of her legacy in Hollywood, but
right, and if it somehow wins Best International Film over Emilia Perez, then I would say we're in for potentially an earth-shattering victory, a true underdog, one of the biggest underdog wins in Oscar history.
when I think it would also relieve some of the controversy too if it's a female that wins because of like she has this fan. She's a legacy actress that it looks like her country. She's beloved by her country.
Hmm.
And I think this is something she
Yeah,
deserves. It's not like, I mean, that other film, what was that, the one with the trans character?
Emilia Perez.
Yeah, the actress in that, she's in her 50s too, but I don't know, this lady, Fernanda Torres, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at her
Look
her
up the
film.
stats for the movie too.
Yeah, yeah, the stats for the movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially like that could be the push because it made 15 million off a $1 million budget.
Yeah.
So that could be, I
What's
don't
the
know.
RT score? What's the Metacritic score?
Metacritic. Oh yeah, it was let's see, 96% off those 75 critics.
That's
Uh,
pretty high.
yeah, very and 8.3 out of 10. So it's higher than the previous one. So
IMDb has it at an 8.8, and
well, and
Letterboxd it has it at what is it? It's like a 4.3, maybe even a 4.4,
yeah.
which is very high for Letterboxd. Yeah, it's at a 4.4. That is insane. That is almost as high as Dune Part 2, if not higher.
Yeah, that's oh, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this one. I kind of want to see if she pulls it off.
Okay. All right. We got three more.
Oh
Nickel
yeah.
Boys.
Okay. Bro, I've never heard of this.
I really want to hear. I'm not going to give you anything.
Okay, okay.
Tell me what this movie's about.
Hold on. Let me see. Nickel. Yeah. All right. We gotta rush to this one. So
Yeah.
Nickel Boys. Okay. A bunch of poor kids in like the South, nickel and diming. So like maybe they're scam artists surviving down south.
Okay. Tell me maybe about their race, their ethnicity.
Oh, here we go. Now you're just feeding. This is easy. If you're asking me about race, you wouldn't ask me about white people. So it's probably gonna be like African American, down south. Oh, now that you're mentioning that, Is it about like slavery?
What year do you think this is set?
Okay.
Or years, plural.
I don't know. Nickel boys. I don't even know what a nickel boy is. So, poor boys. Hmm, early 1900s.
Okay. Is that anything else you want to
Well, I'm
add
just
to
trying
your
to think.
guess?
I'm just trying to think of like inflation, because like when a nickel could purchase something, like that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's it. I guess.
All right, I'll give that.
You did give me a hint by asking me the
I
race,
did
because
give you a hint. I
is it
think I'll
about?
give it a five.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
five.
fair enough. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I have not seen this movie.
Okay,
It is produced by MGM and Amazon.
okay,
So if you're patient enough, it will
it'll
be
be
on
streamable.
streaming.
Okay,
First, of course, it's going to be on MGM Plus,
okay,
um, and then hopefully it moves on to Amazon. It's based on a book, actually.
okay.
The main character, Elwood Curtis's college dreams are shattered when he's sentenced to Nickel Academy,
Oh, okay. What is that place? Oh, a reform school.
a brutal reformatory in the Jim Crow South.
Okay. So Jim
So,
Crow, we're thinking like 50s, 60s.
yeah, you got the South correct, which was impressive because
Well,
I didn't give you anything.
I'm thinking like Nickel Boys. Like I was thinking like the way they sound. It's kind of like it makes me think of no, like the no, what's that with George Clooney and those guys John Turturro is singing. The
Oh, oh, brother, where art
Yeah,
thou?
yeah, it kind of gave me that vibe.
Yeah, so you got the South part right. I just had a, you know, and the
Yeah,
20s
yeah,
was off by 40 years.
but
So Jim
okay.
Crow South. Anyway, clinging to his optimistic worldview, Elwood strikes up a friendship with Turner, a fellow black teen who dispenses fundamental tips for survival.
Okay.
It's based on a book, and I've watched the trailer a million times, however, and it's cool because it's a movie where it's shot in like first person perspective.
That's what
So
I see here. Okay, so let me look at this really quick. We're let's see. I see that on a $23.2 million budget, especially with through Amazon MGM Studios, they got some money, but it only has a box office of 2.1. But like you said, it's streaming or potentially streaming on Amazon, so the box office numbers aren't the best representation of its success. So
I
now,
guarantee it's going to be a late bloomer.
yeah,
100%. As soon as it becomes publicly accessible,
yeah.
like a lot of things, it will be like, I bet I'll get a notification from my phone saying, this box office bomb is now a huge streaming success. Nickel Boys. Have you heard of it?
And I would
And I'll
say
be like,
like nominated for Best Picture, right, or something like that, right?
right.
Okay, here we go. So on Rotten Tomatoes, 90% of 154 critics are positive, with an average rating of a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Director Ramel Ross stylistically radical approach to adapting Colson Whitehead's series novel will be jarring for some, but Nickel Boy's sense of immersion achieves a jaw-dropping effect of walking in another's shoes. And let's check out what else? Oh my gosh, the awards that it's been nominated and won are just crazy. Wow. So even won at the Stockholm International Film Festival, the Bronze Horse category, and then won in the New York Film Critics Circle Awards for Best Director in Cinematography, and Los Angeles Film Critics Association for editing and cinematography. One, I guess that first person perspective is going to be kind of a huge thing for this movie.
That's why it snuck in for my, because number one, Amazon didn't have a horse in the game bigger than this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And two, I mean, just the fact of them snubbing a novel movie like that, I couldn't see it, so I had
Yeah.
to put it in there.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
anyway,
All right. We have like I think we have
it's
five
easy.
minutes. You think we can
We can grind it out because the next two, our
Okay.
last two, are two movies that we've already talked about.
Okay. What's the
The
first one?
Substance,
Which we dedicated our first hour on pretty much. Oh my gosh. We were on
right?
it, dude. We were on it.
Right? Demi
Okay.
Moore. And
Okay.
then the last one is Wicked.
No, dude, did you plan for this? Let's see. Let's go pick
Remember,
up.
I saw the list, you didn't. So,
Yeah, okay. Let's look at quick stats on the substance. So we already spoke about it, but on a
mhm,
budget of 17.5 million, it made about 77 million. Not bad. Uh,
mhm.
and in terms of critics, let's see here. Wow, a lot. Okay, release. Oh, wow. I am. So it had us. What did you say? It won something at the Festival, you said?
The substance, I think, no, it
Oh,
did not.
oh, okay.
Maybe. I think I know Demi Moore won the Golden Globe for Best Actress and was
Yeah,
the front runner.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so in according to Rotten Tomatoes, 89% of 351 critics reviews are positive with an average of 8.1 out of 10, which is very strong. But I like this 4-star review from The Guardian by Peter Bradshaw. He says, "It's a cheerfully silly and outrageous indulgent piece of gonzo body horror comedy, which throws back to my friend who loves horror movies saying like, hey, this is like a
mhm,
shout out to us crazy horror fans."
mhm.
All right, so
All
let's
right, and then let's move on to Wicked.
all
We
right.
have 3 minutes. And then I already gave my prediction. I think
Okay.
Dune or Wicked should win.
Yeah.
I believe that Emilia Perez will win. For you, I want you to give me your prediction for what you think will win
Okay.
based on our conversation and the movie that you haven't seen that you are most excited to
Okay.
watch.
So the movie that will win Best Picture.
Yeah, and
Okay.
based on our conversation from your
Okay.
lens.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with. I think Best Picture will go, especially for the Oscars. I know they like to be different, and
Mhm.
so I do believe it's gonna be between "I'm Still Here" or "Honora" because and because it's female protagonists. But
Mm,
I'm gonna go with "I'm Still Here" for the legacy actress in
wow.
Yeah, so I felt good about when I was just reading her filmography and her
Hmm.
history. Very good. If Amelia Perez wins, that would be a huge move by the
Yeah.
Academy. But
You
then the
think
move
Honora has a better chance than Amelia Perez?
I do because I do
Mm,
like its themes of survival and
yeah.
love. Okay, so and then the movie that I want to see
Hmm.
and I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say first on that list is probably gonna be I wanted to see A Complete Unknown because I missed my opportunity to see it. But if it weren't that movie, it would definitely be Conclave because of
Mm,
just like the impact of the just the still images of the poster. It looks kind of BA. Like it looks really cool and it looks like it's in my like wheelhouse of history and like all the like imagery of Catholicism, the robes, the probably like the sets are probably beautiful.
yeah. I mean, it's cool. There's not a lot of papal type films that we see out there in mainstream. So
Okay. Well,
there you
hey,
go.
we have
We
we're
did
down
it.
to the end. We did it. I heard from a fan that we should try to do some like top 10 list where we have to rank like which movie made the best. We'll just pick 10 random movies that are popular during a decade, something
Hmm.
like that. But anyways, hey,
And as soon as I watch all of the nominees, I will definitely give out my ranking.
oh, I love it. I love it. I want to be here for that. So, hey, BDC is here saying, hey, thank you for listening. Go ahead, Jordo.
I got nothing. Sorry, I'm not
All right.
quick-witted.
Hey, guys, thank you. And we'll see you next time on our next podcast of XYZ.
Save the cinema. There we go.
Out of service, I feel nervous. How do I live day by day? Never risk it, that's why I quit. Now it's